Hello everyone. This is just a quick video. It's directed really at everyone in the UK. Um, People might not be aware of this, but in July uh, there was a bill put into Parliament for a reading. Um, it's now just past the second reading. It's called the EU Withdrawal Bill, and to me, it's the whole reasoning behind this fake Brexit, the Brexit that people were led to believe was happening, which isn't really happening, uh, is so that the British Constitution and the law, the rule of law, the system of law, and all our rights as individuals under common law um, are all about to be changed if this gets through Parliament. Um, the second reading was passed today, I believe, by 320 votes to 280 or something like that. But this, to me, is the scariest thing ever. I've been speaking to like a couple of my friends and my neighbours about this as when the Brexit thing happened, saying that this is what I thought was the plan behind it. What they're trying to actually do is bring all EU laws into Britain, and then they're giving themselves the power to dispose of whatever ones they don't want, change whatever they want, how they want, whatever way it suits them. Remove whatever they don't want there. They're giving themselves the authority within this bill to do that. And it's also got, they're trying to put it so that it'll be a national, like rules, their rules, basically. Pretty much, like what Theresa May was saying at the speech at the EU. It's going to be global rules, rules, rules. Now, in this country, we have the rule of law, the common law, the law of the land. There's also the legal system, which is the law of the sea. Um, Acts and statutes apply to that. Whereas under common law, the rule of law, there has to be an injured party. Obviously you don't kill, you don't steal, you don't damage someone's property, you don't stop someone from going where they want to go. They've got freedom to roam, um, and all of these laws will soon be gone. The common law, where we have to consent to allow the legal system to take force, for acts and statutes to apply, we first have to consent to that, to contract with it, because there's not an injured party. It will also have issues with civil matters, like if they can start passing all of this and, like change it where it's rules and that, it'll pretty much be do as they like, when they like, how they like, start changing everything they like, and the common law of the land will be gone forever. And people are probably not aware of this because there's not been any publicity. There's very little been said about it, and it's probably the most important thing that could happen to this country ever. You know, People's human rights. If they bring all the EU laws they're trying to do, and then just get rid of what they don't want, it can mean that all our human rights that are protected under the European Union at the moment, they could just chuck them out once they've got this bill passed. They could change whatever else they like. Um, the common law system will be gone. The law of the land, our consent, to the legal system, um, will be put in force. Really, that it'll be more like they decide. There's no need to consent. There's no need to do that. It'll just be what they say and how it goes. Now, I really, really encourage people to call their local MPs, um, make it known that you're not happy about this. This is the whole British system of law about to be wiped out. The common law of the land that's been around for centuries that protects us, as living beings. Like all their corporate things, all the, like the legal entities, all of this will all have force with if they change all of this, if they get all of this through. You must contact your MPs, tell them that you're not happy with this, you do not want them voting for this. You expect the rule of law, the law of the land, common law to remain in this country. They're trying to just dissect the constitution of the land. People voted Brexit because they wanted to keep our country and make it great again. That's why people voted. They didn't vote it so they could deceptively do what they want, prolong things, confuse people, use clever word salads to try and just like let people believe that they're doing what they're planning to do when they're already tied. They've tied us into the EU military. Um, they're talking about single global. It's not about getting Britain back. This Brexit was all about getting our law system of common law and our constitution taken away because there has been ongoing things that have been going with mortgage frauds by the bank. It's all down to the bankers and things like that. If they can get this bill through, all of the things that they have done and they have been doing for years, they'll have got away with it all. And people really have to. There should be a massive outcry about this. This is absolutely unbelievable. The common law, the law of this land, is applied for hundreds of years, and now they're about to try and underhandedly, deceptively remove it and give themselves incredible powers in Parliament to do whatever they like. Once they bring these EU law over, they're trying to make it look as though they're just bringing it over, transferring it to make everything easier, smoother transition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's not what's going on at all. What they're doing is giving themselves huge powers to change whatever they want, how they want, remove the common law of the land, and implicate a new system. So I had to make this video. Please share it with everyone that you can think of in the UK. Um, Even if you're not in the UK, share it. Like try and get people talking about this, making people aware of it, because there's no media on it at all. Really, they're not talking about it, and it's absolutely the most important thing that should be getting spoken about. Um, Please do what you can, share it, contact your MPs, speak out about this, because it's going to be too late very soon. Um, Thanks everyone. I really hope this gets stopped. I really do. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye. Hello everybody. I just thought I'd have to make another little video on this EU withdrawal bill. Really freaking out about it. It's the most dangerous piece of paperwork ever to go into the Houses of Parliament. It's past its second reading. It's gone on to the committee stage now. Now, what this paper is all about, it's the EU laws can all now be brought into British law. They then override common law. In other words, the law of this land. The government have then given themselves power within the bill to change anything they want, remove any laws, manipulate any laws in whatever way they see fit. Now, this can carry on for as long as they want, really, because within this bill, there's clauses that have been put in that give the government power to even change the date of Brexit if they want. And they've also gave themselves the power and authority within the bill that they don't have to consult Parliament or the people on any of it. So, in other words, what you've got coming is if this thing gets through and gets ratified, even the Queen's speech, when she finally does a speech on it, if it goes in, they can even come back and change whatever she says. That's the power of this bill. people who maybe not understand the difference, like Parliament, the government. Parliament is where the two parties discuss, the government, the opposition discuss or supposedly argue points and blah de blah. It's all a big show anyway. But what this bill has done, it's given itself within it the power to remove Parliament from any of these changes or anything else that they want to do. In other words, the power of the people who have voted MPs in, and the Parliament is irrelevant. The government, which is the party that's in power, they, within this bill, are giving themselves the power to change whatever they want. They've made it so that there is next to no scrutiny. There's no scrutiny from Parliament whatsoever because that's getting ruled out. They're also making it so that there's minimum scrutiny on any of it. So whatever they're doing, whatever they want to create, whatever new rules they want to create, if they want to change the Human Rights Act, if they want to remove it, if they want to do whatever, they can create new laws, they can do all of this. They can also do it without informing the people or it having to go in front of Parliament. Now, people might not be aware of this, but they better bloody wake up quick to it. Because what this is the greatest power grab ever by a government. It's pretty much dictatorship. They can change anything. Understand that, people. Any rules, regulations, laws, create whatever they want, how they see fit, and not have to put it through Parliament or consult the people. Take that in for a second, people of the UK. Take it in. I can't shout this out loud enough. Now, again, I'm telling people, mirror this, upload it to your channel, do whatever you want with it, share it far and wide, get the word out on this because the media are not informing the people. Now, who you're looking at here is you're looking at a guy called Sir Keir Starmer. Now, this guy was a European lawyer for over 20 years. He's an MP. He's given a speech before the bill passed its second reading, and he's dissecting as much of the bill as he can, pointing out, the draconian powers hidden within this bill, and trying to make people aware of some of the stuff within it. But it's not the full picture. There is more to this than even he is able to say here. And yet, after this speech, which was really exposing how draconian and how powerful this bill was, and how dangerous it was, the MPs that the people who have voted in have voted this through for the second time. So I'd suggest that if you're not happy about this, you contact your MP and let them know that they better be doing something about it. Anyway, people, just another little quick upload to try and get attention to people. I encourage people to listen to Keir Starmer's. He's done, I think it's a 29-minute section. Try and look for the extended one, 29 minutes or 35 minutes, where he's dissecting this bill. And you can hear from him, how powerful it is. But I've gone and read this bill, and it's just unbelievable. The power within it and the hidden power, and it's like Parliament is irrelevant. We are irrelevant, and nothing can. We won't be able to do anything about any of this. It's changing common law, the law of the land. All legal legislations and things can be changed. Civil, anything they want to change, pretty much. Rules, regulation wise, anything. They can be doing it without Parliament getting involved, the people getting to know about it, or anything. It can just be done pretty much in secret, without scrutiny. So something's got to be done to stop this ridiculous EU withdrawal bill, the power grab bill, even after they've changed its name, like from the repeal bill to now the withdrawal bill, to try and make it sound fluffier. There's no way that, believe you me, Brexit is not happening. It's still carrying on. They're just conning the people to think that there's any sort of Brexit. The money that just get paid in while things carry on. The billions and billions they're about to take from the taxpayer will get paid in somebody's pockets. But it's not changing anything. Things are carrying on as normal. The only thing that's not carrying on is the reason behind what I believe the fake Brexit is so the British Constitution and the British common law system can be dissected and changed into and create new rules, which Theresa May was speaking about so many times, her rules in her UN speech, which I encourage you to go and listen to. Anyway, thanks for listening, people. That's my rant over. Um, Again, share, mirror, upload to your channel, do whatever you want with it. Please get this info out. Thanks a lot, and thanks to all my new subscribers I've got. It's really flattered by people taking an interest. Okay, I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for now. Bye. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Just another quick video on the EU power grab bill, the worst piece of legislation ever to hit the UK for centuries. What I've got here in front of you is Clause 5 within the bill, which deals with two matters here. You're only actually seeing part of Clause 5 here. I will do another video on the other part. Clause 5 addresses the principle of supremacy of EU law, which means that domestic law must give way if it is inconsistent with EU law. In the UK, this can mean that a court must disapply an Act of Parliament or a rule of the common law, or strike down UK secondary legislation, even if the domestic law was made after the relevant EU law. In other words, fuck common law, fuck anything the Parliament's made, acts or statutes of Parliament. We can do what we want. We can change that. This principle will no longer apply to legislation passed or made on or after exit day. Right, well, on or after exit day, they'll have done everything and they can decide when exit day is, thanks to their EU withdrawal bill, which can change the date, and a minister can do that without them having to consult Parliament or the people again, just so you know. An act is passed when it receives royal assent. Oh, royal assent, is that when the Queen gives her speech? Yes, well, if you don't know, they can even change that, because they've put that within the bloody bill. Whatever the Queen says, fuck her and all. We can change that. Great, eh? Now, here we go. It's interesting to find here, in a bill designed to extract the UK from the EU, an acknowledgement by Parliament that EU law was actually supreme, although the principle existed at the time of accession to the treaties. It took a long time for the English legal system to accept it. Note they say legal system and not law system, because what they've been doing is criminal. It's against the law. Our Bill of Rights prevents them from doing what they've done and what they're doing again here. It's treason. Our legal system to accept it, and perhaps only eventually did so with the factor tame litigation, which is very bloody tame. It's not relevant at all under law. If a conflict arises between pre-exit domestic legislation and retained EU law, the supremacy of EU law, where well relevant, continue to apply as it did before exit. In other words, we'll do what we want again. B. A further matter dealt with by Clause 5 is the EU Charter on Fundamental Rights. Clause 5.4 states, the Charter of Fundamental Rights is not part of domestic law on or after exit day. Whilst this is no doubt included for political reasons, it raises an interesting question given that one objective of the bill is to keep legal continuity. At present, the Charter is relevant when applying EU law, but its removal will place the courts in the position of having to decide how its removal affects the meaning of retained EU law. In other words, get worried, people. Charter of Fundamental Rights, bosh! Clause 5.5 makes clear that whilst the Charter will not form part of domestic law after exit, do you get that? This does not remove any underlying fundamental rights or principles which exist irrespective of the Charter. Oh, yeah, really. And EU law, which is converted, will continue to be interpreted in light of those underlying rights and principles. Oh, this is really good. Clause 5.6 states that Schedule 1, which makes further provisions about exceptions to savings and corporations, has effect. Schedule 1 contains some important provisions and is the subject of further post, which I will do another video on. Thank you very much, YouTube. I will be back soon with part 2. Hello again, YouTube. Just another little video. I'm going to go over some of the clauses hidden within this EU power grab bill, just to let you see what some of them are about. I'll probably do this in 2 parts. This is sort of follow on from the last one. I just want to point out, some of the clauses that are hidden, and just to let you see that what I'm saying is actually true. I'll give you a quick read here now. So what the bill seeks to do, the bill seeks to ensure legal continuity when EU law, often referred to as acquis, no longer has effect in the UK, but achieving this will not, on any view, be a simple process. The method chosen is to retain existing law on exit day and to enable amendments to be made post-Brexit. Much of our existing law is EU-based and currently part of domestic law because of the European Communities Act 1972. Now, what's actually happened has been treasonous, really, because there should be no law that overrides common law, the law of this land. And within the UK Bill of Rights, you can see that this is so. There is no conditions for any laws to be changed without Parliament say so, without the say of the people. And these laws should not be manipulated in any way whatsoever. So the fact that EU law has been overriding some of the UK's domestic law should not have been happening, because there is no reason that should never have happened. It can never happen. So what we're seeing here, Clause 1, the European Communities Act 1972 will be repealed on exit day. As things currently stand, the UK will leave the EU on the 29th of March 2019, i.e. the end of the 2 years specified by Article 50 of the Treaty of the European Union. But is this exit day? For the purpose of the bill, in fact, the bill gives power to ministers, that's any minister in the government, to specify when exit day is. See Clause 14. I won't go into Clause 14 till another video. Clause 2. EU-derived domestic legislation will continue to have effect in domestic law on or after exit day. The definition of this phrase in Clause 2.2 is important, and the exceptions set out in Clause 2.3 should be noted. I'll go into some of the subsections maybe in later videos. What I want people to see is what they're trying to do is they're importing EU laws that suit them and trying to make that have the force of UK law after they decide, when exit day is going to be, when they decide, when they've manipulated our old constitution and the UK common law system. So that's pretty much what they're trying to do, but they're doing it by deception, as always. Clause 3, direct EU legislation so far as operative immediately before exit day will be part of domestic law. So what they're doing is they're bringing in the UK laws, making them part of our domestic law after they've decided exit day. Again, it is important to note the definitions and any exceptions. Clause 4, any rights, powers, liabilities, obligations, restrictions, remedies and procedures which immediately before exit day are recognised and available in domestic law will continue to be so recognised. Yet again, the detailed wording of the bill is vital, and there are important exceptions. Again, the Bill of Rights, the Charter of Human Rights. Clause 5. The bill then seeks to end the application of the supremacy of EU law, which should never have been supreme in the first place. It is not supreme. It is treason what has been happening. That principle will not apply to any enactment or rule of law passed or made on or after exit day. The EU Charter of Fundamental Rights will not be part of domestic law on or after exit day. Do you hear that? The EU Charter of Fundamental Rights will not be part of domestic law on or after exit day. The whole purpose of all of this Brexit scam, in my opinion, is all about this. Now, people, wake up before it's too late. This must be stopped. You must demand that this treason stops. The Queen cannot in any way ratify this. This is treason, people. It must be stopped. Anyway, that's another video. We will continue at some point with more of these videos. I'll probably do more of the clauses in the next ones. Sorry, I forgot to say goodbye, everyone. I shall do some more videos very soon in the next day or two. Thanks a lot. Bye, everybody.
Humanity will win.